Okay.
And there's Mohammed, so it's good. Omari. So I just wanted to show you guys this. We aren't in person, which is terrible, and it would be awarded to you individually. But one of our ETC companies has a 3D printer, and we made you a little award.
Oh my
So
God.
everybody gets their little Accelerate
Oh, that's
Baltimore
cool.
award.
That's
And
cute. That's
we'll,
awesome.
we'll figure out how to get it to you.
Can we pick them up?
Yes, you can pick them up.
Pick them up.
And we've got a swag bag for you that has more ETC stuff. So
Cool.
we'll put them
Nice.
together and
All
let you
right.
know when we're ready. But there's your little Accelerate Baltimore.
Okay. Oh, that is adorable. Thank you.
Yep.
Okay, so I know Patrick is out there, and we are, running 6 minutes after our start time. So perhaps we can
get rolling.
get rolling for the session. So we're going to kick things off. Deb is going to be the moderator today, and we'll go from there.
Well, John and I are going to tag team. So
Okay.
just welcome everyone who's joined, everyone who's just looking on, and especially this fantastic cohort. Thank you very much for your participation, for everything that you did. And, in these crazy, crazy times, Accelerate Baltimore is really a remarkable program, and we've been doing it. You are the 9th cohort. We started in the spring of 2012. And because of these interesting times, that intimate in-person, lunch and learn couldn't happen. We had to pivot. And so, you guys have come together and done an amazing thing. But I have to stop here for a second because I want to welcome Scott Davis.
Yeah, what the hell is going on?
And Scott Davis is from newly inaugurated Mayor Brandon Scott's office. So congratulations to everyone in the cohort from Mayor Scott, if you see that. So that is our newly. So Scott and I connected over picking up trash in the Highland Towns neighborhood.
Right.
And
Nice.
so he works in Brandon Scott's city council, but I'm sure that there'll be more for him to do. So he can't stay with us long, but thank you, Scott, for joining us. I really appreciate it. That said, this was a different year in so many ways, not just the fact that you were all virtual, and yet you connected and really made things happen. But we asked you to come together and to work on issues that were affecting the city of Baltimore. And that if you solved, and you have in so many ways, the problems affecting Baltimore, safety, public health, transportation, education, and housing homelessness, we could effectively take this out to other counties, cities, and places. And so, yes, let's help Baltimore, but let's know and understand that some of these same things are affecting the rest of, the United States. So with that said, we've just about on schedule. It said that at 5:40, I was supposed to turn it over to the CEOs of each of the 5 companies and have you do your presentations. The one other thing I want to say, and I don't see that necessarily they've joined, but I can't thank the ABLE Foundation enough. The ABLE Foundation supplied the grant funding that enabled us to give you all the seed funding that you needed to move forward, and for us, through John, to be able to bring you the programmatic things that we do. And I just can't say enough for the ABLE Foundation and also for our partners at Baltimore Development Corporation. And I see that Sean is here joining us, but thank you, Baltimore Development Corporation.
Colin is
and
also.
clearly, thank you, Able Foundation. So with that, John, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Okay.
And then have you work through each of the CEOs as they introduce themselves. And one other shout out to Belinda Manningloo, who is our AWS partner. We thank you very much, AWS, for the services you provide and the cloud services and support. So that said, John, I promise it's you now.
So Deb, before I talk about and introduce the presentations from our CEOs, I got to give thanks to a lot of people, right? And they deserve more than just recognition, but that's all we can give them this year, right? But I have to take the time.
Hey, you want to do a microphone set?
Hey, Mohammed, you guys are, someone's mic is live. Anyways, I just wanted to send my appreciation in a number of different directions. And so bear with me, folks, because it's an amazing collaboration of nearly 100 people who have helped U5 in some way. And, you know, some have put in lots and lots of time and hours, and I just have to give them a shout out. So in addition to the Able Foundation and Bob Embry and Eileen O'Rourke and Beth Harbor, who really, you know, was like an earpiece for me, I've got to do a shout out to Delali and Dion from Hack Baltimore. They're partners of Accelerate Baltimore this year, and they did something that was really important. They helped to build a pathway for more inclusion of Black entrepreneurs, like the 5 that we have here. They helped to open my eyes about pathways in this community. And they're much more than just Hack Baltimore. They're fearless as a company and audacity as a company. They're really leaders of a movement, and they helped us to have intention this year. And I just have to give them a real big shout out. In addition to the Able Foundation and the AWS partners that gave us, that gave you all funding, I'd like to give a shout out to the Miles and Stockbridge Black Business Initiative with Vinra July, who has now been able to, I think, provide each of the 5 companies $20,000 in free legal services to help take care of some of these initial sort of corporate issues and other issues to really get moving as the capital raises begin and other things of that nature. So they needed to do that. And I'm just, you know, in addition to what you said about Able, I mean, not Able, but AWS, the Cloud Start program is an amazing program that they all get entry into. And it was, you know, a large credit of the success of Gun Bail and other previous Accelerate Baltimore programs, who's now blown up over 100 employees, multi-million dollars of work, and within just a few years. And so we're happy.
John, I didn't mean to cut you off, but as you say that, I said, I didn't mean to cut you off, but, you know, you mentioned Gun Bail and, you know, previous, shout out to our 2018
of course,
company, Clear Mask, who is on $25,000 from the Able Foundation and 13 weeks of our program, has 250 employees, and has sold 30 million of their Clear Masks plus. They can't make them fast enough. Yeah. So that's what's possible with this program. That's what's possible.
And, you know, you all have seen Deb with her mask on when she's in ETC, that Clear Mask. That's actually the product of the founder. I forget her name, Deb.
Elisa Dittmer, and she's deaf. Yeah. And she knew when hospitalized.
It was done because she was deaf. She wanted doctors to be able to. She
needed to read lips when she communicated
doctors and things of that nature. That was a great invention. There's more that I need to talk about. Like, for example, okay, I'm not going to go through the whole list, but there were 10 people who were on the selection committee that gave like a mad amount of time to look through the 87 applications and then come to unanimous decision after debate about who the last 5 would be. So I wanted to shout out to that whole group. They'll all be mentioned in some other way, except for Christine Gloria from the Aspen Institute that I really appreciate all the time she's done. The other thing is the mentors, right? Each team has volunteer mentors, and that's like, mentors matter, and they're there weekly, and they're there providing strategic advice. They're even providing a shoulder to cry on, when programs got a little tough. The mentors really stepped up, and I just wanted to mention, John Gasparin of WSC, Matt Conwell with his new venture fund, Rare Breed Ventures, who was tuned up with Angel. John Gasparin was with Patrick. We had Jeff Cherry from Conscious Ventures, who connected up with Nancy and Sankofa. Dr. Tamira Lucas from Warnock connected up with Nika. And James Peterson from the M&T Bank connected up with Muhammad. And so those mentors, that stuff matters. And they put in the time and the effort. And they deserve more than just a thank you, but that's what we can give them today is our collective thank you. In addition to those, there was an entire parallel track called Pitch Creator. And we had two coaches, Mustafa Waheed, who is a faculty member at Johns Hopkins and the founder of Transitioning You, and also, Henry Mortimer, the director of the Center for Entrepreneurship and Innovation at University of Baltimore. And so they had a parallel track, and they're talking to the team every week, working on the investor presentations, 30-second elevator pitch, investor pitch, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So the work was put in by those two gentlemen, and me, actually, I was involved with it too. But, to really get that process going. Then, after, despite all of those people, that was just like part of the group, because the other part of the group was the dozens of folks that participated in session, workshops, classes, seminars, tasks, and things of that nature. And so, when Deb and Neil Davis and I were really thinking about how to put the program together, we didn't know you. We didn't know who was going to be selected, but I think we got it right. And we tweaked it along the way. But we started with the process where we would start from really broad to really narrow. And we started with two fundamental sessions. The first one was Dan Kunitz with the iCore discovery, customer discovery. And I see everybody shaking their head because, he rocked everybody. It was because of Dan that, us entrepreneurs, we sort of like think our product is perfect and what we've done already is perfect. And we haven't really started talking to customers yet. And so he helped to eliminate the unconscious bias we have about our own business and really pivot towards where the customer needs were. And this group took it seriously. And so Dan, needs a real shout out. And people, if they're watching, you want to look at his video presentation on our YouTube channel, the Accelerate Baltimore YouTube channel.
You need someone to tell you that your baby is ugly.
Hey, you know what? Someone, sometimes you don't see that yourself. And so it really helps. And then we had the work from Jason Tagler with Camden Ventures, who came in to talk about investment strategies. But in addition to, we tied that nicely in with the pitch creator process throughout the weeks. And so those were where we started the whole effort. And then we kind of moved to this more narrow focus. And Dion Joyner-Weems kicked off an amazing panel about inclusion and intentionality in your community, because these 5 CEOs are working in the community to handle specific challenges. And so she brought in Shalonda Stokes from the Downtown Partnership and Cheryl Washington from the East Baltimore Development Initiative, Jonathan Moore from Rowdy Orbit, and a gentleman from Project Numa, I think, Project Numa, Damian Cooper. And so, we kind of moved from there. We went into strategic partnerships with folks, and again, John Anderson and Delali and folks were giving some interesting information there. It started getting a little rough on everybody when we sort of dove into the exciting world of accounting and insurance and, working capital and contracting basics. But we did have, we had to thank William Chen from the Attorney General's Office and the Department of Commerce on contracting, and Don Grau with Goldsboro Insurance, We had a guy, Travis Hamburg, who came in to do the sort of accounting 101, and then the SC&H company had a couple of folks, Justin Acker and Danny Austin, that talked about accounting with the public sector. One of the highlights for me was with Chi-Chi. As all you may remember, Chi-Chi Nyaganash came in. She's the director of general services for the city of Baltimore. And it became almost like a "what can I do for you" session, where she was talking to Mohammed at full blast about you want to use old empty public school buildings for your ed tech approach, and for Nika with Fight Blight in the housing department, and with Patrick and CDL drivers as an example. So there was like this real collaboration of city and partners and things of that nature, and then we kind of went into the process of sort of working capital with MMG and with Cerebro Capital. So we just had that kind of technical thing. And then finally, I just wanted to give a quick note to the folks from TEDCO who were here with us last week. The newly minted CEO of TEDCO, Troy Stovall, Ann Balduzzi, Brittany Eliezer came in and really helped, along with some advisors from TEDCO, to do a prelude pitch with our group last week. And I just wanted to say that to you 5 CEOs, a lot of times these programs have to put like the sword of Damocles above your head in order for you to do things before you get your money. And that wasn't the case, right? Instead, with you were serious about your purpose. You were accountable. You were transparent. You took it on. And so with this group, Deb, I'm just happy to say that good faith was good enough. And we had 100% participation with every seminar, every class, because this group took it that way. It wasn't because they got a gift from Abel. That was important. But they were more interested in doing something about this community and taking this stuff seriously. And you're going to see that as soon as I shut my mouth and give them a chance to do their own presentations.
And let's not forget Neil Davis and how important he was and is to not just this program, but this particular program. He was there from absolutely day one and helped us
totally
choose the cohort and be involved with the cohort and give you, me, some direction and information about where we need to go, where we need to be.
Absolutely.
And, he's amazing. Used to work with me, and now is, I think he's actively retired.
No.
Neil Davis,
He's
very much.
he's starting a new program, a certificate program.
That's what I mean by actively retired.
Actively retired. Got you. So this is my final thank you, and that is to our 5 CEOs. I've come up with a little thought about each one of you that I wanted to share before I turn it over and let you do your presentations, because I think we really came together as a group, and each of you had your own sort of spirit and personality involved in this. And so I wanted to just say to Nika, you're our griot. You were the cohort's like historian, and I think you were the North Star of our Black consciousness throughout the cohort. And I just wanted to thank you for your openness and willingness to be in that role. Mohammed, I know you're not on the screen right now, but I got to tell you, you're a man of honor, and that for the team, you personify intensity with purpose. And you gave that to all of us. I call you Mr. Veins. Because of that thing, man, and when you start talking, and your partner, man, Rob Moore, I just got to put it out to him. Rob is like the natty professor, right? So Rob's got the dreads, but he's the nicest professor you ever want to meet for all those kids, and a great partner in Full Blast Steam. And then Angel, you emerged as our cohort leader, and I appreciate all of the work that you did in, really stepping up and taking a lead. You are the woman carrying the future of racial equity in this country on your shoulders. And all of us appreciate that. And your partner, Rob Drayton, who is calm, sort of this calculated technical wizard with the voice of a late night DJ on WHUR in DC, right? Syrupy, wonderful guy. Nancy, you are the keeper of our culture and the advocate of our ancestors. And your tour of East Towson and your incarnation of the history of slavery from our area into our communities rocked me and rocked us all. And your partner, Omari Bakari, a friend, I think the senior statesman and our sort of the gentle lion as your partner. And finally, and certainly not least, I just wanted to give a personal thank you to Patrick Parents, who apparently is having difficulty connecting. But Patrick gave us a sense of ourselves. I mean, he just kind of helped us feel like we are who we are, where we are right now. And the last session we had together as a group, and we came together as a group that last session. And so we started as 5. We are now 1, and my work is done. And so it's been one of the pleasures of my life to have this experience with you 5 CEOs, for sure. I had to get that out. So listen, why don't we do this? We'll just follow the order that I used. Everyone's waiting to hear your presentations. No one wants to follow Nika, but today everyone's going to have to follow her. So Nika, you're up first.
No fair. That's cold. Good evening, everyone. Let's see. Can I share my screen?
Yep.
All right. Can everyone see the screen?
Yep.
Perfect. Again, good evening. I'm Nika Nambi, creator of Fight Blight Be More. Take a deep breath. Now imagine walking down the street past this. Vacant houses, doors and windows broken, fallen cornices, trees growing up inside. I don't have to imagine because there are blocks and blocks of this in my community. This is blight. The presence and concentration of vacant, abandoned, dilapidated, underutilized, and misutilized properties and communities. And it is quite literally taking our breath away. 12% of adults and 20% of children in Baltimore have asthma, which is double the national average. This is why Dr. Coco said, a child who has to walk past 29 vacant properties on their way to school has already failed the first grade. The toxins in blighted properties are triggers for asthma. Blight is undoubtedly responsible for many of the 14 million days missed by children nationally in a given year. But how did some neighborhoods in Baltimore become so blighted? Devaluing and disinvestment in Black communities. In short, racism is the reason. The impacts are clear. There are 80 to 90,000 blighted properties in Baltimore. Residents in Baltimore's most blighted neighborhoods have life expectancies lowered by 20 years. Homes near blighted properties lose $70,000 in value, and the city loses $88.2 million in revenue annually due to blight. Residents, advocates, community groups, researchers, municipalities, nor developers have an analytic tool to identify, report, track, and analyze data on blighted properties that supports healthy neighborhoods and equitable development. There are many disparate data stores containing data on blighted properties, but the accessibility, and accuracy of these data stores are in question. For example, the ownership data in SDAT and CodeMap does not reflect properties with tangled titles due to the death of the owner or a tax sale foreclosure. Our solution is an analytic platform that combines crowdsourced data with municipal and other real property data. The platform will yield accessible, transparent, and accurate data to support accountability, data-driven decision-making, and equitable community development. Using the data from all of these sources, the platform will answer questions like, which houses should be developed first to address health and housing insecurity? Where are the concentrations of evictions happening? Who actually owns the property? And was that report of illegal dumping actually cleaned up? Fight Like Be More will be offered as a subscription-based service. Currently, we have defined 9 subscriptions, including community development, eviction tracker, ownership verification, and 311 audit subscription, which answers questions like the ones above and more. The estimated total addressable market for the community development subscription alone is $950,000 to $210 million. The subscription base is varied from community groups to developers to researchers to municipalities. We anticipate signing up 50 subscribers in year 1, projected revenue of $297,000, giving us profitability after just 1 year. The demand for data-driven solutions for Blight has produced several applications. Data curation, customization, and contextualization separates us from the rest. We have subscribers in waiting, like Reed Jones of Parity Homes, who says Fight Like Be More solves the problem of insufficient data, and Andre Robinson of the Robinson Group, who says they will be an early adopter of the platform. Let's not keep them waiting. We're seeking funding of $250,000 to support app and analytic development, research, and micro development projects. Using the funds invested, we plan to launch the app in Q3 of 2021. We couldn't have gotten this far without our community of advisors, powered by connection, the technology of culture, and our lived experience to unblight the block. This is a matter of life and death. Just look at this map. Housing insecurity overlaid with the percentage of COVID by community. It's no surprise that the most blighted neighborhoods are those the most impacted by a virus that quite literally takes your breath away. But Fight Like Be More is working to restore the health and soul of community so we can all take a deep breath. Thank you.
Oh, nice. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much, Nika. I'll let that sink in for our group, for our audience. Okay, next, Mohammed, you're up next. Mohammed? Okay, well, Mohammed's not real here. Yeah, yes, he is. Okay, good. You need to unmute as well. There you go.
So, hello, everyone. So, thanks for having us. My name is Mohammed from Full Blast Steam, and I'm going to present a bit of our journey to contribute to the success of youth in Baltimore and ultimately all of us in Baltimore by increasing regular access to technology and the industry tools that power the world that we live in today. So how do we solve this huge problem of connecting the available STEM careers with qualified talent? Well, if we see our young people as trainable, viable candidates, then the question is, how do we get our young people ready to be that talent? So we focus on attracting young people to STEAM activities and engaging them in ways that keep them coming back for more. Once they've developed a love for the wonders of STEAM and they see how to apply to their daily life, they're more likely to stay engaged on the STEAM track and to do incredible things in our city. So now we want to accelerate the pace of STEM, close the gap. And how do we do that? It's simple. We plan to consistently onboard more kids to the STEM track. But the STEM track is a years-long road of education, of participation, of focus, of tries and failures, and attempts and successes. Actually, it's argued that the key to mastering new skills is having the opportunity to try and fail and try again at working at these new concepts. So the STEAM track leads from intro to what STEAM is, to activities that you can practice it, information, hands-on projects, certifications, that you see that are available in the industry, badges and more projects that you work on. You fill your portfolio with your successes, certifications, freelance projects where you can start to earn some income, jobs, your first job, any entrepreneurship activities that you want to get into, and then specialized STEAM education like Year Up and others. Also, coming back to work with Full Blast STEAM, we currently have 2 former students that are training with us to be tech coaches and lead new sessions. So I'd like to read a quote from you quickly from Karen Garza, who's the president of the Battelle for Kids, organization focused on 21st century learning. She says, now more than ever before, the stakes are extraordinarily high for our young people. With the advancement of artificial intelligence and other technologies, many of the entry-level jobs available today will disappear and be replaced with new workforce opportunities, but only for those people that are prepared and equipped to thrive amongst these opportunities. The World Economic Forum ranks creativity, critical thinking, and problem solving among the world's 10 most demanded skills today and into the future. So these are the 21st century skills: the creativity, the ability to generate ideas, collaboration, the ability to work with other folks and solve problems. Critical thinking is problem solving. Communication is effective listening. These are the skills that we bake into our lesson plans, our activity plans, and our structure, and the structure for our operations. We have to do more for our young people. I'm from Baltimore. I've witnessed fun turn to felonies quick when kids don't have constructive activities to fall in love with. And this is what we want them to fall in love with. Robots, drones, virtual reality. These are the tools of our trade. We show them how these things work, what makes them work, how you can design, build, program, and repair them, as well as other tools like them out in the world that operate using the same core technology. So who are we? We're a group of community-focused educators and engineers who design and build educational technologies and gaming events to attract more African-American youth to the STEAM-based hobbies, further education, careers, and entrepreneurship. We're also one of the highest quality STEAM programs in the city, as we've invested heavily in the equipment and software required to engage multiple groups of participants at events. So why us? We've identified our target market, and our initial market in the Baltimore, DC, VA corridor region. And these are our current, past, and future clients. We've worked with folks from all over Baltimore, from Penn North Harambe Center to Sister Saving the City up in Park Heights, to East Baltimore, Cecil Elementary, to South Baltimore with Paul's Place and others. We've paid close attention to what our partners' needs are and their complaints about the quality of other programs, all the expensive equipment. So we've developed solutions that take their concerns into account. Our revenue to date, 2018, 80K, 2019, over 100K, and year to date during Corona, we're at 85,000, all from word of mouth and satisfied clients. No major marketing has been conducted yet. We've been successful at growing our revenue over the years, and we've identified opportunities for explosive growth over the next few years. So why us? Our competitive edge, we believe, is our authenticity. We know our kids. We know our kids, they know us. We know what they need because we are them. We have always been them. We will always be them. We will always be for them. And everything we create is with them in mind. So these are a few badges that signify the success that our young people are having at their progression through 101 through 103 of arts and tech, 101 through 103 of robotics, and 101 through 103 of computer programming. This is our business model. Our R&D supports all three areas of our activities, all three areas of our business, the online academy, in which we bring young people from Coding 101 through Coding 103. We send equipment kits to their homes so they have hands-on engaging activities. And we teach them through the online courses about the pop-up gaming events and how to compete in them and to succeed at them. When they bring their families and friends to the gaming events, those family and friends are now introduced to our online academy. Also, the products that we are creating, the EdTech products, are being sold at the gaming events, and the equipment that we develop is featured at the gaming events. These are more details about the academy model, the prices, the difference between the online, the recorded classes versus the live classes, as well as some of the price differences, and how we lead the participants into the events. This is our office. We have these are two stations, tech coach stations, where our tech coaches engage the online participants. We have a total of 3 stations, and we're looking to upgrade to 10 stations so that we could bring in a total of 120 new students per tech coach, which would equal out to about a new 2,000 new kids over the course of 2021 if we're successful. Pop-up events. This is what I can't wait to get to. This is it. This is us having in Baltimore more space and opportunities to practice new STEAM hobbies. Our goal is to have a citywide venue with mobile events. Corporations sponsor youth teams and advertise to our crowds, and our clients will pay for awesome high-tech experience for their youth. At our events, this is what fills an arena or a convention center or any venue that we acquire. It's our verticals. There's money to be made in all of our verticals. These are future-proof technologies. They're not going anywhere. They're called future-proof because they're not going anywhere. They'll be around as long as we're alive. There'll always be robotics, always be drones, always be virtual reality, 3D printing. These things are here to stay, and this is what we need to engage our young people with ASAP. This is our ask, right, in stages. To upgrade our online virtual academy, we're looking for $250,000. 700,000 to launch our EdTech event equipment, and 1.5 for our pop-up events and permanent venue space. Thank you very much.
Mohammed, you gotta know that was the best one you've ever done, right? Your deck looks great. Nick, great job. Thank you for sharing your most recent thoughts. They were very cogent and clear. Congratulations on narrowing the focus and really kind of having a clear pathway forward. Okay, so next is going to be Angel St. Jean and the Black Brain Trust. Angel, the floor is yours.
Okay. Give me a second to find my slide deck. It's here. I just need to.
Yeah, take your time.
Find it.
Do you want some time to find it and we go to someone else? Would that help?
Let me try once more.
Okay.
Okay, I think I got it.
Yep. There we go. Perfect.
Okay. All right, good evening. Again, I'm Angel St. Jean. I'm the CEO of the Black Brain Trust. We created a scoring tool and software platform that enables individual and corporate citizens to take data-driven actions that create a more equitable companies, that create a more equitable society. I came up with the idea for this after a company I used to work for tried to fire me for raising issues about how Black people were treated in the company. This is while we were going through a diversity, equity, and inclusion training. I learned two things from that experience. One is that companies can be taking actions believing it's helping them to become more equitable when it's really not. And two, if my CEO could get an award for his courageous equity work while I was searching for a lawyer to protect me from retaliation, there clearly was no standard for equity. I believe that CEO and other business leaders know that they have a role to play in creating an equitable world. Whether it's because they want to make a difference or because they understand the shifts in consumer, worker, and investor preferences, these leaders understand that being equitable is more than just a nice thing to be. It's an economic imperative and a critical problem they need to solve. They just haven't figured out how to do it because they have blind spots when it comes to equity. We talked to leaders of multinational corporations to 7-person operations, and we heard the same things. Companies track KPIs for every goal that matters to their bottom line, except for equity. We believe that we can create a more equitable world the same way companies achieve every other goal that they have, by being intentional. We have to solve for equity. Our solution is the Equity in Action Score. We all know that you can't improve what you don't measure. So the EIA score does a simple thing that isn't being done at scale in the field of diversity, equity, and inclusion. It creates a clear bar that all companies can aim to reach. Our score is industry specific and based on over 100 metrics and critical feedback from Black workers and consumers. In addition to the score, you get a report that helps companies understand exactly where they're falling short and exactly where they need to direct their investments in order to get better. Of course, there are other products on the market. What's different about us is that we're not focused on helping companies understand how to measure their social impact or how to measure diversity. We're focused on equity. Equity requires diversity, inclusion, and good governance, but those alone have not and cannot create the equitable world that we're all seeking. All the products that we saw on the market do one of two things. They either focus on improving the experience of workers inside companies or for the people who are trying to get in. We understand that companies have a bigger footprint than that. The Equity in Action Score is for companies who are truly committed to going deep and really understanding how to identify the inequities in their internal practices, as well as the impact that their companies have on equity in the world. In addition to the score, companies can purchase a detailed report and access our web-based software platform. With these tools, company leaders can track key data inputs from staff across their companies, as well as to track their performance at any point and year over year on their equity targets. Our customer is established employers with 10 workers or more in the 6 industries that we're building scores for in 2021. Our first industry score is going to be focused on financial institutions, specifically banks, credit unions, and community development financial institutions. These companies are not only required to invest in underserved, mostly Black communities, but there's also a multiplier effect when you have a more equitable bank. That will increase equity in home ownership, business development, as well as employment and wages. We have 3 strategies to get our products in the hands of company leaders. The primary strategy will be to work through industry associations where we can minimize our overall customer acquisition costs, as well as to introduce our products to multiple companies at one time. Right now, we're focused on securing a known brand as our first beta tester so we can raise awareness of our product as well as confidence in its effectiveness. If we can secure just 24 customers in the next 2 years, will earn over $1 million in revenue. So we've established a 1 customer per month goal as our conservative starting point. Our main objective over the next year is customer acquisition as quickly as possible. So we plan to, in the next quarter, patent and beta test our first industry score and use those results in presentations to companies and to bring on a staff so that we can build out the rest of our industry scores and launch our research agenda. Companies have been investing in diversity, equity, and inclusion for a while. However, between COVID and race-based uprisings, there's a new sense of urgency around addressing racial inequities. We want to get our product out while companies are hyper-focused on this issue. We're right now seeking grants, notes, in-kind resources to help us achieve our goals over the next year. We're also seeking to build a board of advisors. So if anybody is interested or they know about any resources that we can benefit from, please see us in our virtual booth at the end of tonight's session. A little bit about us. My co-founder and CTO is Rob Drayton. He is an enterprise architect and a developer. He's been coding for 16 years, but he hasn't worked a day in his life because he just loves what he does. I'm an applied researcher. I've spent my entire career working to improve outcomes for Black people. I was on a PhD track when I decided to work in the field that I wanted to study. I think that was the best move that I could have made in my career because it allowed me to put those research practices to use in real world scenarios. And I also learned how to use data to improve outcomes for real human beings. Equity work really found us once we understood the inextricable link between addressing scale and the inequities that are structural in our society that are leading to and that are the core causes of disparate outcomes for Black people. At the end of the day, we want companies to stop making statements in support of Black lives and to put their actions where their heart is. The more equitable companies we have, the more equitable our world will be. The Black Brain Trust is helping companies to put their commitments to equity in action, and that includes all of you. Invest in what will make a difference instead of a headline. Change your company and change the world. Thank you.
Wow. Wow, that was good. Thank you so much, Angel. Whew. I'm going to make a comment after everyone's done, but all I can say is great job. Well done. Omari Bakari, can we see you? Are you going to be able to do the next presentation?
Now, you can't see me, but I am going to do the presentation.
Oh, my goodness.
All right.
Well, that's not real cool.
This is going to be a cool presentation. That's the right thing.
You're just going to Google their presentation?
That's a good one. Here we go. Oh, Patrick, great to see you. Good.
Okay.
You ready to go?
Yeah.
Okay. I tell you what, why don't Nancy, if you could bring your face on the screen so at least we could have your face along with Omari's voice doing this pitch. How about that?
Okay. Good evening, everyone, and thank you for giving us the stage for me. My name is
Your audio is not very good, Omari. Excuse me, Omari, your audio is poor.
Is that better?
I tell you what, are you okay? Could you have it?
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Your audio is muffled, but we'll try to suffer through it. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, again, good evening, everyone. Thank you for allowing me the opportunity to share the San Jose Community Network with you. First, I want to thank the Angel Foundation too, not just for the funding that made available, but for the report that they released in May 2020 on the digital divide that exists in Baltimore. That report became the foundation of where we found our opportunity to have some impact in the city of Baltimore. The other thing that happened in May was that a couple of years ago, HUD had launched an initiative called Connect Home, where they were trying to do the exact same thing to get people connected in low income public and senior housing. And later that month, in May of 2018, the Trump administration repealed the Net Neutrality Act, which basically ended any opportunity for those people to get connectivity living in public and senior housing. So what that report did for us, we likened it to a place called Lodabar. It's a biblical destination that this person was crippled. He was unable to communicate with the rest of the world. And so his situation was never able to change. We looked at that situation and we saw it as a form of systemic racism. And we thought the value of connectivity was an extension of years and years of people living in public and senior housing, not being able to help themselves, were faced with. And each one of the cohorts in this accelerator this year are facing something or coming up with a solution that addresses systemic racism. The San Jose Community Network is a digital service provider. We are involved in providing Wi-Fi networks, both public and commercial. We have a remote patient monitoring kiosk that we can allow folks who have chronic illnesses to check their status on a daily basis. And we are also creating a telehealth app marketplace to serve low-income, disabled, and seniors living in public and senior housing. To achieve this, we put together a solid team. Nancy Goldring is our CEO. She, as John mentioned, she's connected with the Townsend community. Her family is connected with the Hampton Foundation, and she's been a community activist, also a Howard alumni with the Masters in Divinity. Kareem Johnson is a retired Marine Corps captain. He's spent his professional career working in the IT and corporate environment, but in the military space, he was an expert at deploying communications and internet activity in the war zone. Obishe is our business development person. She attended Morgan State, graduated from Hawaii State University with a marketing degree. So let's talk about our customers. Our customers live in public and senior housing. The majority of them have at least one chronic illness, and a lot of them. The population that we're dealing with, there's approximately 3,900 low-income seniors living in McCullough homes. And 100% of those seniors are on Medicare. But here's the problem. A large number don't have access to the internet. 31% no internet access, 35% under connectivity, and they only have access with their mobile device. So the reason that we've got to step in and create this utility, a Wi-Fi network, is because our would-be competitors know they can't make any money there. And because of net neutrality, they're not forced to do anything. Well, the city and the state and the federal government haven't been able to make a decision on how to come up with a solution. And every time they wait, it becomes more and more costly. So the reason we're building the Wi-Fi network is so that we can provide this remote patient monitoring to this population of people who otherwise can't get to the doctor. And with this pandemic, in most cases, this is the only way, this will be the only way they have to check and maintain the quality of life that they have. So the Sankofa Community Network Solution is a community plan for connectivity. Our secret sauce is our partnership with the faith-based community. Dr. Calvin Hathaway at Union Baptist Church is one of our partners, and he's been an advocate of digital equity in Baltimore for years. He has a computer center, digital printer, 3D printer, and he's right next to McCullough Homes and City View Towers at McCullough. So this is our business model. We make money by enrolling people for the remote patient monitoring membership, the app marketplace vendors, data report sales, and internet medical devices. We have 4 revenue streams: telehealth consultants, the remote patient monitoring enrollment, vendor app marketplace, and our data report. The elegant fix to this complicated problem is that we can go in and set up a kiosk, a Wi-Fi network, and connect all the seniors living in this particular site of McCullough Homes for $85,000. And through our 4 revenue streams, we projected we make $216,000 in revenue, which would give us $131,000 profit over the course of 1 year. Now, there are approximately 13 other sites in Baltimore, just like McCullough Homes. What we're seeking is $1.3 million that's what we would need to actually deploy our solution throughout all of West Baltimore. Right now, we're seeking for our first round approximately $200,000. We're going to launch a bootstrap operation, which will allow us to create a telehealth marketplace directory. We have some COVID-19 digital protocols that allow contactless participation with healthcare facilities or in public housing. And we also have a telehealth app that we will be marketing to small clinics throughout the area. So over the course of the next 18 months, we think that we have the solution to reduce the digital divide in Baltimore significantly and increase the amount of healthcare for seniors living in the public housing, and also our vertical revenue model will allow us to engage the city services, school districts, and other business opportunities in Baltimore. So our commitment is that we want to end all the social injustices that our people have faced. We want to create opportunities. And just like the other members of this cohort, we think we have the solution to make the change. Thank you.
Appreciate that, Omari. And Nancy, thank you for the presentation. Wow, you really did. You really did tell another story about our community, what it's facing, and some of the solutions that we might be able to, you know, roll out in order to help people in our community. Okay, so that's the fourth of five. Next, we're going to go to Patrick Parents. And Patrick, if you could bring your video up, thank you, and unmute your microphone, and then the floor is yours.
All right, hey, good evening, everyone.
Can't
Sorry,
hear you.
You still can't hear me? No?
We're good.
Okay, all right, cool, wonderful. All right, good evening, everyone. I apologize for the difficulties earlier, but it seems like we are up and running. So not going to over talk everyone. I'm going to get right into it so you all can kind of get to the Ravens game. All right, so we are going to share our screen here.
I forgot about the Ravens game. Thank you. Oh my God.
Yeah, it's going to be the shortest week ever, so you guys can get ready.
Okay. hurry. Yes.
All right, let's go ahead and get this started. All right, cool. 3, 2, 1, and go. All right, are you guys looking at my pitch?
Yes.
All right, wonderful. Okay, so good evening to everyone who haven't met me. My name is Patrick, and I am the founder of Superb. For the last 10 years, I've been a bus driver for one of the nation's largest transit agencies. And in that 10 years, I probably missed about 7 of those Christmases due to the fact that there's a limited, as drivers, there's limited time off. And our industry has such a high turnover rate. And because of that, it causes the current drivers to be overworked, because we have limited flexibility and time off, because there's just not enough staff to compensate for some of the assignments. But in my time, I've learned and I've grown to believe that there's a way to give drivers more flexibility, more time off, more time with their families, more Christmases, while also giving the companies themselves the security, drivers, and tools they need to staff your business. And that is where Superb comes in at. Superb provides an on-demand commercial driving platform to help short-staffed transportation companies connect with safe and qualified commercial drivers. So the problem, for many companies, getting drivers is an expensive problem. It can take up to $10,000 and up to 45 days to recruit and hire a new driver. This becomes more costly when companies spend to recruit and hire and then ultimately fail to develop and retain the driver. This results in many companies overspending in things like manpower and overtime. Our solution is simple. Superb uses a marketplace style approach to not only vet and filter talent, but centralize the highest tier commercial drivers in one location, eliminating the need for expensive recruitment campaigns, and we can reduce overtime spending by up to 15%. Our platform gives drivers the opportunity to have more flexibility with their time, resulting in more time home and less time behind the wheel. As a part of our marketplace, our business model is very simple. In an effort to avoid reinventing the wheel, Superb deploys a product as a service business model, charging a 20% commission on payouts whenever a driver and business actually connect, because there's no registration fee to actually join our platform. This is currently the lowest rate when compared to our direct competitors. In a market with tractor-trailer focused companies like Uber Freight, Relay On Demand, and Fleeting Pro, Superb stands out by being the only company that features transit operators, sanitation truck drivers, limousine drivers, and other types of modes that would be ushered under the commercial driver umbrella. For the past few weeks, we've been doing some live testing in the field using methods like Nextdoor, Craigslist, and actually just walking up to certain businesses and asking them if they needed drivers. For the month of November and pushing early December, we made close to $3,000 without actually spending a penny on conventional advertising. This consisted of making the most out of free platforms such as social media, content marketing, and having a popular presence on classified ad vessels like Craigslist and Nextdoor. In addition to that, Superb is a minority business enterprise, which gives us priorities in certain government contracts in the realm of transportation, which could enable us to collaborate or bid on state contracts. Some of the benefits to our customers, which are the businesses that use our platform, we can reduce overtime costs. We give the businesses an opportunity to surge their workforce on an as-needed basis without having to go through hiring. Not to mention, we can help businesses expand their opportunities, maybe by giving them drivers to offer a new service, or helping them, if they're a motor coach company, maybe they want to do some additional trips. Our marketing plan is simple: relationship media, proposals and bids, and guerrilla old-fashioned brick and mortar, let me talk to you style marketing. So that's going to do it for the presentation portion. Now we're going to show you guys the actual platform that we have up. We're going to stop sharing that for the time being, and we're going to bring it back up. Bring it back up. And we're going to go back at it just with another screen. Move that down. All right, so welcome to the actual Superb platform. And if you're wondering, yes, that is me on the front. It was the only picture I had. It's very simple. We're kind of based around users being able to log in. We give out invitation codes for the time being, just so we can make sure we can vet and we can get the best people, not just the drivers, but the businesses themselves on our platform. So when a customer or driver comes here, the first thing that they'll probably do after reading through our services and things of that nature is they'll go to the sign up button, or they'll just go to browse. Now, for purposes of this, I modified things a little bit just to kind of show you all the offerings while not showing real prices and things of that nature, but to show you the flexibility. Over here on the left, you'll see all the categories that we potentially offer, whether it's transit, freight, sanitation, box, tow truck, et cetera, et cetera. This is one of the things that makes us different from our competitors and makes us really good with the drivers, because we, again, offer them the flexibility. If you look to the right, you can see how, as a driver, you can post your services. So whether you want a monthly payment, now disregard these prices, those are just numbers, but you can be paid by the month, you can be paid by the day, week, and or hour. And as of last Friday, we incorporated other listings, giving Superbs a chance, Superbs that own a vehicle, a chance to also get in on the fun and post their services as well. I don't own a vehicle, so I didn't place anything here, but we realized in doing discovery calls that there were a lot of truck drivers who wanted to be a part of our platform, but because getting a driver in a tractor trailer was a little bit different, we felt, and they had kind of confirmed, that it was easier to compile the driver as well as the truck together. And through that, we were able to actually offer a mileage listing. So now that the freight drivers on our platform can be paid not by the hour, month, or week like somebody like me, a bus driver, would, but they can actually be paid per mile, which is a model that they're a little bit more comfortable with. Through our discovery calls, we've learned that they are, that's kind of their norm in their industry. An hourly truck driver was kind of weird, it's a red flag, but if you say miles, they absolutely love it. So our platform's actually live now. I did a few trips this morning myself. We're still kind of, beating at the drum. We hit our Craigslist up every morning to see who's looking for an emergency driver out of nowhere, and it kind of always works out well. Throughout the next month, we plan on bringing more drivers on the platform, in addition to recruiting more businesses, and hopefully just getting over this, what I believe is really the future of how drivers actually work. No more kind of 9 to 5s. You come do this, you kind of come show up, etc. It's just Superb simply just connects businesses with drivers and gives them a chance to meet in the middle. Again, didn't really have much of a pitch. We're not looking for further investments, just looking for an opportunity to be able to show you guys how cool I think this can be. And that's going to be it, man. It's almost 7. Raven games come on at 7:30. You guys might want pizza. So I'm not going to talk anymore. If there's any questions, I'll check the comments out. I'd love to answer any questions. But other than that, man, go Ravens. That's about it.
Thank you, Patrick. That was fantastic. Thank you so much.
In under 6 minutes, not bad.
Thank you so much. Nika and Angel and Nancy and Mohammed, would you please join us with your present? There you go, on the face. And we can kind of move quickly into the next section about sort of, where you were before and where you are now and where you're going from here. And so I turn it over to you, Deb.
Yeah.
Before you go, can I hijack the agenda for just a second?
No? Yes? You good?
Is that okay?
Yes.
Yes. Go ahead.
Okay. So I was going to do here was to ask each of you to reflect a little bit about the program and about where you were, where you are. Let's just kind of, we're going to wrap this ceremony up. But most importantly, this helps us for the future. It helps the next set of entrepreneurs.
Yeah, John, this is where they suck up to us so we get that able money again next year. Okay? So,
okay, let's hear some sucking up.
Yeah, so this is where you suck up and where were you and where are you now? And the program did what you wanted it to, did more than that. I mean, it's looking back and looking forward. And as I said, that's the way to suck up and get able money again for another cohort next year. So that's where we are.
Well, you're also ambassadors, right? And there's one of the things I wanted to start the conversation off, Angel, Nika, others have mentioned to me some, reservation about getting involved in the program, and you guys got involved in the program. This is the first time we've got an all-black cohort. Nika, could you kick us off? Could you tell us a little bit about, what you see, what we're doing, what this matters, what this means? Start the conversation. This is not about me. This is about you. And I would like for you to share your thoughts and possibly kick it around with your other colleagues.
I have to do one waggy finger. And the waggy finger is we have had so many wonderful companies come through Accelerate Baltimore. And many of them have gotten great press. And they've been interviewed by BBJ and Daily Record. And, some of them have even been in the New York Times and all that kind of stuff. And if that happens to you, just say thanks, ETC. Just say, no, we went through Accelerate.
Thank you, ETC.
Thanks, ETC. Okay.
And a little self-promotion, nothing wrong with that.
No, come on.
Nika, you have to go. Talk to us.
Sure. So, but before I do, I'm going to defer to Angel for a moment because she would like to say something, and go ahead, Angel, and then I'll kick it off. Got you.
Okay.
I will be brief, I promise. So thank you, Nika.
See you, Angel.
What was that?
What?
He can't go. We can see him.
Oh. Okay. So we definitely want to share our experience with the program. We have amazing things to say, but we wanted to just take a second as a cohort, really, and say thank you to you, John. We have a little token of appreciation that we want to do, which we'll do that on Saturday. But just so you know, you're an amazing mentor. You are an amazing coach, but we can't help but to notice that you're also a very snazzy dresser. And so we came in to get a custom suit. We got a gift certificate for you to get a custom suit made from the Baltimore Custom Clothiers, and we'll present that to you. But it really is no way adequate to express the gratitude that we have for you, John, and what you have done for each of us. Really from day one, the very first conversation I had with you, you made me feel like I was supposed to be in this program. And I think there's a saying that you have that you said from that day and on forward, it was strap up. And we've had to do that, and just the resources that you've put in front of us, the connections that you've made, the heart that you put into making sure that this program is something that we would benefit from, not just as entrepreneurs, but as Black entrepreneurs. We can't begin to express how much
John can't hear you.
You can't hear it at all?
One word, but I see there might have been a thing. I hope to hear it again. Maybe I hope it was recorded because I didn't hear a word.
It's being recorded, but I'll save the rest for you for Saturday. But yeah,
I guess I'll have to watch the video.
Yeah, you've had a huge impact on all of our lives, and you are in our lives forever. So make sure you have that on the recording.
John, can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Anybody else? I just couldn't hear anything that Angel said, so I'm all good.
That's wild.
But
she was saying how why did she go through this program with you? And OMG, why were we with John Davis? And
okay, I got
absolutely the opposite, John.
Oh, well, I'll wait for the recording because I never want to, step on a compliment, but I wish I could have heard it. That would have been great.
I know, it was fantastic. But, we've got about 10 more minutes until you guys can go into the expo. And let's keep this short. But again, not so suck up to ETC or ABLE. But where were you then? Where are you now? And one or two words from each of you about, John did a great job and really moved you forward. So let's start with you, Nika.
Sure. So, to echo what Angel said in a few words, John is dope. And his support for the cohort was dope. I think where I was at the beginning, in terms of what was the most valuable to me, was the pitch creator and what it taught me about pitching, but also about creating the investment summary, as well as a lot of the guidance that we got from the different presenters and the connection there. But I think the most powerful connection for me is this cohort itself. Yeah. We may not be highly capitalized, but that isn't our power. Our power is the currency and communication that becomes between us. There's a lot of the innovation that is in play here to support the development of community. And a lot of times people talk about community as something outside of themselves. That's not what this is. Each person here is talking about our community, Baltimore and the wider community. And so how connect with each other. Where I'm going forward is, of course, the app, we're going forward with that, but we have a number of different things. We are launching our own youth focus and community centered innovations and incubation and imagination space. We are helping vulnerable homeowners get out of tax sale through the Stop Oppressive Seizures Fund, but we also are going to be connecting with each of the cohort CEOs and doing an in-depth dive into how you do collaboration. We are not, last week we kind of talked and I shared with the cohort that I'm not in competition with anybody. I'm certainly not in competition with any of the 5 people here. We are in collaboration. And that's how we get to Angel's equitable outcomes in terms of race or any other way in which humans classify themselves, right? How we take care of the health of community that Sankofa is focused on, how we make sure the children get the STEAM education and training that they need, how we make sure, that the CNAs can get from Park Heights to Bayview without waiting on a 2-hour bus. It is the power of this particular cohort. It's the power of innovation and ingenuity specifically brought to bear by Black entrepreneurs and innovators. And I just wanted to, say y'all dope too. How about that?
Nika, Angel, where were you? Where are you now?
So I was just talking to a mentor about this earlier today. Sorry you still can't hear me, John. Watch the recording, please. But you know, when I first started this, I definitely had some, you know, reservations, and I think probably one of the biggest reservations that I didn't realize at the time was the reservations I had about myself. I was imagining the possibility of what the Black Brain Trust could be, but I couldn't see myself as, you know, for some reason, Mark Zuckerberg is what I had in my mind, like the CEO of some big tech company. And I couldn't see that. Over the course of this accelerator, I feel like I have learned from how to put together, you know, strong financial, you know, projections and to segment, you know, my market. Thank you, Neil. How to really understand my market fit, how to really map out a course for the Black Brain Trust to become the billion-dollar company that it can be. And I leave this program with a greater sense of clarity and belief, not just in myself, but in the plan that we mapped out through this program. We certainly took every single lecture seriously and put all of that knowledge to bear in our deck in the 13-month timeline that I'm gonna leave this program really as a commencement for me into the next phase of building a company. So it has been an amazing and accelerated experience. I've gotten to know some super duper dope people, including everybody on this call. And I have to shout out Mac and Moose for all of the work that you guys have been doing with the Black Brain Trust, and my partner who is not on the screen, but who I know I couldn't do this without, Rob Drayton. So thank you so much for really the purpose that went into designing this session, especially for us.
Nancy, Omari?
Sure. I'd have to say that from where I was to where I am, wow, I just think about my email response time, John. And I have to tell you, there are so many different places in my life that I have kept, my level of effectiveness has gone through the roof. And what I've been able to bring to bear, the level of leadership that I've been able to bring to each place that I'm involved. And I think the most valuable thing ever is a solution-based mindset. The mentoring and the coaching and the development conversations I've had with John through meltdowns and shutdowns, and understanding that that has nothing to do with the commitment that you made when you started, and you have a responsibility and an obligation to keep pushing, to keep showing up, to keep doing what's necessary. So I am absolutely not the same person, and I can see in every area of my life where I have been stretched, and all for the better. So thank you very much for the cohort. Thank you for Jeff Cherry. If you're out there listening, oh my goodness, my heart goes out to you. You have been a mensch, as they say in Jewish lore. So thank you, thank you, thank you, everyone. The cohort has been awesome. I can tell you, I think one of those first or second pitch contest, I was ready to totally quit. And after I saw everybody, I was like, I can't do it. I was so proud, and I was so grateful to be connected to each of you, that I was like, no, you can't. You have to keep running. You have to keep rolling. So thank you, everyone. Thank you, Deb. Woo! You've been very gracious to all of us and to me especially. So thank you.
Thank you, Nancy. And let's keep this going because we're at 7 p.m. Let's go, Mohammed, you next, and we'll finish with Patrick. Where were you? Where are you now?
Hello, hello. Can you hear me?
Oh.
Awesome, awesome. This has been a great situation. This Accelerate Baltimore cohort. John has been incredible. I think I have
A pretty awesome echo.
yeah, I'm gonna get rid of that right now. Bam. Can you hear me? Great.
Yep.
So thank you. ETC has been great. We've been around the block a few times. We've been through some okay programs and some that are more intensive. And this has definitely been an intensive program, especially with everything we have going on right now with regular business and COVID. And got to shout out my business partner for holding things down so I could devote some attention to focus on the requirements of the program. But every step has been a learning experience, and it's been an opportunity for us to just rise to the occasion, just prove that we can do it, and just take the next step towards our goal of scaling, of bringing what we have to the community at large. So this is, I for some reason, I feel like this is us just getting started. It's at the end, but you know, we got a connection amongst us. John is around. The ETC is still here. There's just all kinds of opportunities and networking opportunities out here. So that's what I want to take advantage of starting now, moving forward into more success. All right. So thank you very much, ETC. Thank you, Deb. Over the years, I've paid attention to you. You don't know it, but I paid attention to you closely. And yeah, thank you for the opportunities. And we're going to keep it moving and accelerate Baltimore.
That's right. Accelerate Baltimore. And just watching me age, right, Mohammed? But thank you. Really appreciate it and everything that you all have done. And please know that given your acceptance into Accelerate Baltimore, you have 3 more months at ETC for free. And so while, you know, most everything we're doing is virtual, Patrick has taken advantage of coming in and popping up at a desk, and we're there for you. We're there to help and to make sure that we follow up, and that for 3 more months, we are making sure that you are achieving your goals and succeeding. And so we will, we'll end this part of the session with Patrick and looking back and looking forward. And then you have an expo, but I'm going to jump off and eat something. I'm really hungry. So it's up to you, Patrick.
Well, again, not going to keep everybody long. Man, I'm just so grateful for everybody. I'm grateful for ETC, John, Deb. Something cut off. Yeah, it's just been a really, really great experience. John, you fussed at me a lot, man. But you know, I've cherished every single word of it, and it's never fallen on deaf ears. But yeah, you fussed at me a lot. But it's cool, man, because I appreciate it, because I can hear the love in your words for wanting to see not just Superb grow, but me grow as an individual. And I think though I'm not where I necessarily want to be yet, I can see me kind of getting better and better each day. And every Wednesday, you know, when you and I talk, you've kind of always, you know, been there to kind of help me grow, and I appreciate that. But as far as where I was, this is just going to be quick, and I won't take you guys' time. This was my very first pitch deck, right? So we know I kind of have the commercial driving platform, CDLs, and this is a person driving a car. That's a person driving a car on the front of my pitch deck. So if you guys want to know how far I've come, you can just kind of look at the guy who had a car on a CDL pitch deck.
Patrick, thank you. But I want to just let the world know that this is truly, truly Baltimore. And she's joined us on the on the hop in, but Jackie Albright was ETC's assistant director, and she worked with me for years. And as I understand it, she's now yelling at you, Loyola, because she is your mentor. And so shout out to Jackie Albright for continuing the good work. But that's how small Baltimore really is.
Yeah.
And with that, I leave it to you, John, to suggest the
Can you hear me okay? Can you hear me still? Great.
Virtual Expo, and I am gonna.
Yeah, no. I just want to say to everybody, I see we're slowly losing crowd, but I will just say that it's been the experience of a lifetime for me. I love you all. I feel like I'm not sure what's going to happen tomorrow because I feel like my children have left the nest, but I know you're not children. You're like grown ass people and have professional jobs and lives and even grandchildren and stuff like that. I am just so pleased, but I just want to say to everybody, there is an opportunity if you want to speak to one of the entrepreneurs in a separate section after this. I leave it to them to stay as long as they want or as short as they want. I just say that Deb and Celine, thank you for being there for me. Thank you, Deb, for giving me the opportunity to lead this group. Thank you, Celine, for being a partner, doing all of that back-end administrative work in pulling this off and sort of making a personal experience out of a totally virtual one. And the last thank you I have to make again is to my wife, Jennifer, who just been there for me and let me do a 7-month project like this and just been supporting me all the way through. So welcome. Congratulations. I look forward to seeing everyone succeed. I'm here. I'll always be. Muhammad,
And John, one last thank you because
everybody, Angel, Patrick, Nika, I'm here. We'll talk to you all soon. Look forward
and
to
John, one last thank you because I know she's on. I saw her post in the chat, but Beth Harbor, Able Foundation. Thank you. And thank you to, we said it earlier, to Eileen and to Bob, but this would not have happened without the Able Foundation. And we thank you very much. And with that,
all right.
Expo and
It's over.
Woohoo! Woohoo! Good job.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.